Hey, today I'm going to post my first video in my new playlist of videos, Demystifying Counseling. There are so many perceptions of what counseling therapy is. It seems to often be mysterious in terms of what happens in counseling and why and what the outcomes are of what happens. This is very true if you have never had counseling before. So I'm going to share my own personal experience in my first time counseling. I was in my first year in undergraduate studies. I was currently dating someone. We'd been together for about a year at this point, and I was struggling with some of the things my girlfriend would do when in social settings. I didn't really like that she did these things, and I was struggling how to make sense of it. So I went to a counselor, and in my first and only session with her, she asked me the following question. If your girlfriend never changed what she does, would you still want to be in a relationship with her? Now, this question seems pretty straightforward and simple. Yet, when she asked me at the time, I became a bit defensive. I was unable to be vulnerable with the counselor. I don't even remember what I said, but I do remember that I was deeply impacted in a frustrating way. I initially had thoughts of disliking the therapist and blamed her for not being able to help me. I never went back to that therapist. The question she asked me struck something deep in me at the time, though, something that I was barely conscious of. It struck this part of me that also questioned, I was internally questioning myself, of whether I would stay in a relationship where I was uncomfortable and didn't get my needs met, didn't align on important factors. The therapist's question, unknown to her, is that her question cracked open my awareness of my people-pleasing coping mechanisms. By cracking it open, initially it was uncomfortable. This was something I kept tight and held closely to me, so closely that I couldn't even recognize it. And when others questioned it or brought awareness to it, I got defensive and shut them down. Well, over the next few years after that counseling session, I remained in my relationship and that question kept nagging at me. Eventually, I ended the relationship. I am so grateful that I did, because now I am in a wonderful relationship, married and with an incredible child. If she had never asked me that question and cracked open my own vulnerabilities around people-pleasing, shame, and self-neglect, then I don't know how much longer I may have stayed in that relationship and needlessly suffered. What I'm trying to say is that we all have layers of emotions, beliefs, and thoughts. It takes time and vulnerability to explore and process these layers. In my first counseling session, my counselor's question, albeit perhaps too fast, was an integral part of developing my own self-knowledge, understanding, and empowerment, even though it was hard. So if you are new to counseling or still struggling to understand what it is for and how you can make the most of it, you're not alone. Counseling is tricky. It's hard. It's scary. It may take you numerous counselors before you get used to the process and or find the counselor that you feel comfortable with. And that's okay. That's part of it. Even the fact of counselor shopping can be therapeutic because you are learning who you are comfortable and feel safe with, which is a majorly important thing to learn in life. So in honor of this new playlist, Demystifying Counseling, let me know what things about counseling are mysterious to you in the comments below, and I will try and make videos to demystify these counseling processes. Thanks for listening.